Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. Yet another COVID-19 variant identified in bats in South Africa, and WHO calls for assessment. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Tuesday, 1st February 2022. Details when we return.
Conveniently located in the Grand Anse Shopping Center, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store.
Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going Food Fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair Grand Anse will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, you know. Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep.
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
Welcome back. Neo-CoV is yet another COVID variant, and according to the scientists out of Wuhan, China, it is highly transmissible and quite deadly. However, there is some good news as of now. TV6's Vanessa Cutting tells us more.
The Neo-CoV variant is most closely related to the Middle East respiratory syndromes with the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which causes COVID in humans. However, at this time, our local Ministry of Health notes there is no cause for concern.
The way the article is written, it seems quite alarming. It's said to be quite deadly, etc. What the article, if you read it carefully, it is speaking about what you call a zoonotic disease, meaning a disease which at present, virus which at present is only circulating in animal populations. In this case, it's a virus that has been detected in a bat population, and it's a member of the coronavirus family.
The Neo-CoV variant, though, is not new. Outbreaks of the virus have occurred among bat populations in previous years. But now Wuhan scientists claim to have found that the virus requires only one more mutation before it can infect humans. However, the study has not been peer-reviewed, and so further analysis is needed before a conclusion can be made.
We may not be aware of this generally, but the coronaviruses in particular are under constant surveillance by the WHO, that's the World Health Organization, the World Organization of Animal Health, the Food and Agriculture Organization. All of these organizations together monitor the effects of circulating viruses on animal populations, because we do know that a lot of the new and emerging diseases that affect the human population start off in these animal populations. So at this point, it is a virus that is of interest to the animal health specialists. It is being observed.
Meantime, the Omicron variant is fast establishing itself as the dominant variant around the world, including here in TNT, where preliminary trends seem to suggest that the variant could be having a positive effect on hospitalizations and deaths.
With respect to the deaths, we are happy to see that we are seeing smaller numbers at this point in time. We cannot yet give any definitive reason for that downward trend beyond the possibility that, as we have seen in other countries, the establishment of the more dominant Omicron variant as the dominant strain. Now, we haven't said that it is a dominant strain yet, but it will more than likely get there quickly. And because that strain, that variant, seems to have what they call lower virulence, there may be milder illness in the population as a result.
But the ministry stresses that Omicron, while milder, is more transmissible. and so spreads at a faster rate, including among younger demographics.
With the fatalities, we continue to note that the older age groups are the ones that are more represented, that is above 60, but it's very important to note that there's a significant proportion, a full third of those cases are below 60, and some of them have now been into the younger and even pediatric age groups. So we want to continue to advise caution.
Renessa Cutting, TV6 News.
Trinidad and Tobago is on a state of stagflation, a situation where a country is not faced only with slow to negative economic growth, but also high levels of unemployment. This from economist Dr. Roger Hussein, who is calling on the powers that be to address food imports now before the country runs out of foreign reserves. Renessa Cutting of TV6 News reports.
With a food import bill of close to $6 billion per annum, it's no secret Trinbagonians have an inclination towards a foreign palate. The situation has only worsened over the years, with the majority of our grocery items being imported.
If you were to go to any large grocery tomorrow morning, and I have done in the past, I would suggest to you that 80% at a minimum of the goods on every supermarket shelf is imported from outside of Trinidad. 80%.
Economist Dr. Roger Hussein notes that several other countries with lower land acreages have managed to offset their food import bill by building a robust agricultural sector. Yet this has not been the case in TNT.
Agricultural output in Trinidad and Tobago for the period 1999 to 2020 never crossed 2%, and indeed it fell from about 2% in 1999 to about 0.3%, a significant fall in 2008.
Interestingly, the performance of another sector has been identified as the Achilles heel of our agricultural sector.
The more barrel of oil equivalent we produced in the horizontal axis is the lower our employment in agriculture. So somehow producing more oil pull the workers out of the agricultural sector, and policymakers have to look at that carefully and see how that could be reversed.
And while the agriculture sector has been declining, food prices have been on the increase, further compromising our foreign reserves.
Therefore, policymakers have to look at our food imports, given that our stock of reserves has fallen by about 5 billion and could even be about 6 billion, because it is more, because some of this is borrowed money. So we have to be careful about the food imports too quickly eating up our available stock of reserves.
And Dr. Hussein warns that there will soon come a time when the manufacturing sector will not be able to cushion the blow.
The truth is, I looked at the top 10 exports of Trinidad and Tobago, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 had strong comparative advantage. But what you found in the last column is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 are retreat areas. In other words, the demand for them internationally is falling. And 1, 2, 3 are declining stars. Our production is falling. So we have something of an issue here. We cannot depend on exports.
Dr. Hussein is urging government to act quickly to address this looming crisis. Renessa Cutting, TV6 News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
The People's National Congress, PNC of Guyana, is making it clear that its new leader, Aubrey Norton, must go to the parliament to assume the role of leader of the opposition. More in this News Source Guyana report.
Mr. Joseph Harmon earlier resigned as the opposition leader, leaving the position vacant. He, however, did not resign as a member of parliament. As a result, there is currently no vacant seat for Mr. Norton to occupy in the National Assembly, and the APNU-AFC may be forced to ask one of its MPs to resign or have them recalled to make way for Norton. But the PNC's General Secretary, Gita Chandan Edmond, is adamant that when discussions are over, party leader Aubrey Norton will become the opposition leader, since the party has already pronounced on that matter.
It was a unanimous decision of the Central Executive of the PNCR that the opposition leader should be the leader of the opposition. The leader of the PNC should be the leader of the opposition. So that is our position.
According to the General Secretary, the PNC is engaging all partners within the coalition to make clear its decision in relation to the parliamentary matter and to ensure that they are comfortable with the decision. The party is also currently engaging legal minds on the issue of the leader of the list. The current leader of the coalition's list is former PNC leader David Granger. While there have been calls for him to relinquish the position, it is unclear whether a new list leader could be introduced retroactively, since Granger was the leader for the party's 2020 elections list. Legal minds have told news sources that the Constitution is silent on the matter, and as such, Granger might have to remain in place just for ceremonial purposes. In relation to writing GCOM on matters related to the party's list and the appointment and recall of members of parliament. The party's general secretary noted that all legal options are being explored.
And we would expect a smooth transition, and hopefully that will be done in the shortest possible time. Because we have a party to rebuild, we have a party to strengthen. We have started our transformational works, and we want to take our rebuilding plans all across the region.
With the budget debates slated for next week, it is likely that the opposition will go to those debates without an opposition leader. The General Secretary said while such an option is not the best one, it might be the case until consultations are through for Mr. Norton to go to Parliament and be elected as the opposition leader.
Jamaica's Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson has responded to the opposition leader Mark Golding's ultimatum. More in this Cody and Barrett TVJ report.
On the defensive, Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson continues to tout the work of the Jamaica Constabulary Force even as murders are climbing. In response to the opposition's criticism about the operations of the force in dealing with crime, the police commissioner responded to the PNP's ultimatum.
What would have been very helpful to us on this side, on the security side, is if a 60-day ultimatum was given to criminals and gunmen to do otherwise, or we'll have a united parliament against them. That would have been very useful to us.
Since the start of the year, the police have increased the operations in several crime-plagued communities, and the commissioner says they have been working. But when challenged about the effectiveness, this was what he had to say.
Violence is what's going up. And we have a challenge of violence in the society. And that is why 19% or 17%, depends on which number you use, of murders in this country are interpersonal. There's a lot of ways to resolve this. And also 85% of our murders are done with an illegal firearm. Now, you can't, if all other crimes are trending down, they don't trend down by accident. They trend down because of the work of the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
A major concern has always been the trust factor between police and civilians, but the commissioner insists there have been improvements in this regard.
We've arrested them. I'm not saying we've arrested all of them, but they do so at their own peril. But I don't know that that is the majority of our officers at all. I doubt it. As a matter of fact, it's not. It's not the majority of our officers who are like that. And our officers are arresting them. I want to make that point. It's not some external agency or someone else. Our officers are doing the arrest.
More than 100 people have been murdered since the start of the year, with the parish of St. James so far leading with the most murders. Cody and Barrett, TVJ News.
Conveniently located in the Grand Shopping Center, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store.
Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going Food Fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair granaries will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, you know. Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep.
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.